But honestly, I think it was Aljamain Sterling that had the crash out there. Championship Rounds has the little 3 text messages on X or what have you, but it was Aljamain that didn't get what was being said, if you ask me. For some reason, I keep seeing him pop up in my feeds about his weird fucking opinion, and it's usually people aren't agreeing with him. You know, I think Aljamain is one of the most disliked former champions in history. It's really weird. He had like a little momentum coming back when he was doing the jiu-jitsu stuff, and then he had a couple of cool tweets or something that had everybody liking him again, or not everybody, but some people, and all of a sudden he's back to being goofy. And I have noticed this trend with him for years now, long before he was even champion. But Aljamain's out here responding to fans and calling some of us bozos, or all of us bozos, and some of us have something else wrong with us. Diego Lopez laughed at it, and everyone's gonna have their own argument for why Mopsar should be it, or Diego, or who not. This fan responds to Diego's crying emoji laughter. He's right, Diego. Mopsar did more to earn the opportunity that you have been handed. You are not the most deserving contender, and the division suffers because of it. The division suffering is a little strong if you ask me, because what they want to do is put on entertaining fights, big names, or names that are, you know, getting big, or bigger names, more fan favorite styles, and everybody who's anybody knows this already. At the same time, who should be fighting for the title are the people that are the most deserved. I'd have to say personally, I don't think Diego's the most deserving. I don't even think like Volk is actually the most deserving. And I'm not saying there's another better combination either. It is kind of pitiful that it's done this way. But my point is Aljo's Crashout here. So Aljo retweets the guy that says what he said and says exactly, "I'm confused on the joke. Please let us in on the joke, Diego," with another crying emoji. "You got the shot over the guy who beat you. Be grateful and make the most of the opportunity." Okay. I don't think anybody said a f***ing joke in there at all so far where we're at right now, right? I think Diego found something humorous, but I don't think anybody had a joke there. It's also kind of off for Aljamain to be so aggressive in saying be grateful and make the most of the opportunity. I think it's fair to say that Diego Lopez has definitely done that from day one, and he is going to make the most of the opportunity. To act like he's not grateful, or just to accuse him outright of being ungrateful for a title shot against Alexander Volkanovski, a little bit arrogant. And of course, Jason House, teammate of good old Diego, comes in and he does say, "Hey, we're laughing at how bothered you are by our success." I think that's based. It's okay to laugh at that. It's like, what the f is wrong with you? But there is no joke to be had for Aljamain. The joke is Aljamain. Jason House goes on to explain Diego's resume so far. He said he tries to explain what Aljamain's whole argument is, but unfortunately he says barely beat Diego. You know, that's gonna be his opinion. People will argue back and forth, kill each other, I don't care. But then he says, don't get bitter, get better. And I obviously that's gonna trigger Aljamain a little bit, but it's kind of true. Like, what the f is your problem, dude? Like, what is your problem? What you decided to do as a champion is why you are where you are. And I'm not saying that's the right thing or the wrong thing. What I'm saying is that's what the UFC has done to you. But it's not Diego Lopez's fault at all. You remember when Sean O'Malley jumped up from number 13 to take on number 2 or whatever the f it was? Take on you? I can't even, my mind's cloudy, I'm not even gonna recall it right now. That's what the UFC does. Why are you acting shocked? We already know this. And says he sounds like a good old houseboy. Now, I think he was trying to say something else, at least it's what came to mind, but he knew what was coming if he said house. You know? He can't call Jason that, you know what I mean? Anyway, he was saying you sound like an old houseboy right now, talking tough to a guy you will see very soon. I hope you talk tough then, my boy. Don't bring security and don't ask the UFC to keep me out of events because you're writing a check gas can't cash. I said nothing disrespectful to Lopez, so SMD. Well, yeah, he did. First off, he accused Diego Lopez of being dirty and being greedy and taking a title shot and not like trying to do the right thing. But then he says so that someone more deserving gets it. So within one post, Aljamain is questioning Diego's character and also his deservedness. And then he says, be grateful and make the most of the opportunity, as if Diego Lopez needs Aljamain Sterling to give him these types of encouraging phrases. What do you think he's gonna do? I mean, Aljamain to me is really sounding like, man, this shit ain't fair, man, this shit ain't fair. Now, we know from the past, the UFC does not play fair. They're not gonna play fair. In fact, it's only gonna get worse for fighters, pro wrestlers, and boxers under the TKO group. I don't understand why he is attacking this way. Now, to be real here, Aljamain crashed out completely. Now, but not until he responded to Jason House. And he thought he was clever with the quotations. Motherfuckers think they're clever with the comedy and they're not. Like with these sly subliminals, these metaphors and these double entendres, and they're not. Right here is the crash out because he's literally threatening Jason. Don't bring security and don't ask the UFC to keep me out of events because you're writing a check your ass can't cash. Like he's just gonna on site just fuck up these people in a UFC venue. And then he says, I said nothing disrespectful to Lopez, so suck my dick. So now he's like tripled down at this point, from what I can see. You guys see something else, let me know. I'd love to know it. Jason replies again and says, bring security, keep you out of events. Are you serious? Crying emoji. And I would have to agree with that. What is he talking about? Jason even tells him, I don't have any ill will towards you, but to sit here and say Diego doesn't deserve a title shot and questioning his integrity for accepting it is disrespectful and ludicrous. And that is correct. That is being disrespectful. And I'm glad he didn't spell ludicrous like the rapper Ludacris. This isn't talking tough, this is speaking facts. Be a better person. Stop putting others down. You of all people know how hard this sport is. Jason even gives him empathy and says like, bro, I understand. Shit has been shitty for you because you wouldn't fight your best friend when they needed you to. Because you do goofy shit online. That's probably gonna affect your personal life. And don't try to come back and be, oh, my life ain't never been better. You're lying. You're lying because you wouldn't be on X talking about this crazy shit. Jason even says, this is crazy to see you talk like this. And I f***ing agree, dude. What is wrong with Aljamain Sterling? But he's been doing this. He's been going on his little podcast saying weird shit all the time. He went and he forced his fucking fiance to like check out fucking hot female fighters with him. I mean, you guys remember that post and everyone got really, dude. The replies for the post I did trolling Aljamain was unreal. It was unreal. I could not believe. Let's gang up on him, jump and fuck him, go to threads, puss. Maybe she wants to be there and check out bitches. Y'all are fucking crazy. And this is just for further evidence that Aljamain is like trying to, in some way, be relevant in the game. And it's unfortunate in one way, but in another, the way that he is responding to his outside pressures regarding his professional life. Very annoying. And for the most part, they always have been. Always. And Aljamain from there goes and says, learn to fucking read. And he said, nothing I said was rude, disrespectful, or demeaning. What, dude? He said Diego was undeserving. He assumed and inferred that Diego was not grateful and that he wasn't gonna make the most out of it. He also questioned his character, saying he's gonna not do the right thing and pass it over as if Diego had that fucking power. Like, no thanks, Dana Hunter. Go ahead and give it to Evlev. And I know I'm probably not saying his name right, and I do apologize in all realness, I try, but that's a hard fucking name for me to say. Fighters don't have that choice, and Aljamain should know that better than anybody. When he was trying to do all this, the moment he became fucking champion, dude, he was trying to call the shots. And it took him a long time to realize that he was not going to call the goddamn shots. And he's still bothered by that. And I don't blame him one bit. That back footage with Hunter Campbell that was on like Tubi or Mubi or fucking the Samsung internet channels that come with the new Samsung TV you get or whatever the fuck it was on. Yo, that looked pretty fucking fucked up. But if you're gonna come hard at these motherfuckers, pause, as Aljo would say, you gotta be smart. Cause he says, learn to fucking read. Nothing I said was rude, disrespectful, or demeaning. Yeah, it all was. You said it in a calm way, and you didn't say, yo, Diego is a immoral person. No, he does admit that Diego is more entertaining, but saying he deserves it over him is straight nonsense. And you'd say the same shit if you were Mofzar's manager. IDGAF, who fights for the title? Well, then why'd you open your stupid fucking mouth then? If you don't care who fights for the title, why did you put a post saying Diego was undeserving and he wasn't gonna do the right thing? What they eat don't make him shit. Exactly, which is why he's pissed about it and tweeting who should be fighting. My opinion is valid, and being a house manager shouldn't blind you from facts. Okay, the fact is, brother, Diego Lopez is gonna fight Alexander Volkanovski, and Mofzar is not. And you have nothing to do with any of it. Something you do have to do with, according to this guy, is Patricio Pitbull. Apparently you didn't want to fight him. Is this true? Anyone out there that knows this is true can re-verify it for the real Kevin K. I know he does actually do media work on one level or another and tries really hard and gets really mad at people on X that don't give him credit for what he said first or whatever. Which, in my honest opinion, making news of what fighters rejected what fights seems pretty f***ing pointless to me, but in the context of Aljamain Sterling, it fits perfect. Aljamain is worried about who's fighting for the f***ing title and turning down fights, especially one that I think he has a very good chance to win. Now, if he's injured once again, Lord have mercy, dude. What are we doing with Aljamain Sterling?
I'm tired of all this hype. Everyone talking about Karrion's the greatest guy, and you better win your fight because I'm coming on your ass, boy. I'm coming for that ass.
Well,
pause.
Aljo, in this...
Jessica Andrade will fight Jasudivicius, UFC 315 on May 10th. Okay. I guess I'm gonna have to take a look at the UFC rankings real quick. I have done plenty of videos on Jessica Andrade, and I will link them below as they are gonna be relevant and pertinent to this fight and probably for the rest of her career. Jessica Andrade right now in the women's strawweight division is number 4, but she's also number 7 in the women's flyweight division, dude. This is fucking stupid as fuck. I feel like they're trying to speed race Jasudivicius, but they're doing it over 2 fake ass names. Myra Bueno Silva is somehow number 15 in the flyweight division after losing to Jazz. The fuck, dude? That was her attempt to enter the top 15. She lost. Why is she still there? And why is she still in the fucking bantamweights at number 7? Probably to fucking fast track Eileen Perez, dude. Probably my fucking guess. How fucking annoying. Anyway, Andrade should be in only one fucking weight class. I do not understand why this is allowed. I don't understand why Jazz would be able to have the opportunity to rank up 2 spots minimum off somebody that is in strawweight ranked higher. I think this should be a fucking rule if we're gonna start doing this shit. Unless the UFC is trying to play dirty. Whichever division you're ranked higher in, that's the one you have to stay at, or to go to the other one, forfeit permanently. The lower or higher, right? So like for Jessica Andrade, for example, the UFC gives her the ultimatum. Well, here you're gonna have to stay at strawweight. And she says, no, I want to go to flyweight for this fight. Well, you cannot go back to strawweight. If you do, you start back outside of the top 15. Why are we just mixing and matching and blending fucking ranked fighters across divisions after losses and shit? Because they're gonna say Jazz is gonna move up off of Jessica, or at least that's what they want. And Mackenzie is gonna move up over Jessica probably in a rematch. If I'm not fucking mistaken, my very highly educated fucking guess here. Will the fight be good? Yeah, I mean, Jessica's probably gonna churn shit upside down once again and lay Jazz out. Might be a slugfest for however long it lasts. Can't wait to see it, of course.
Me. And not just some one person. I'm interpreting that as Andrade's childhood being full of pure demons. Nobody should be treated that way. Considering she was sharing this with the world, the OnlyFans story is completely believable. And Jessica goes on, and I quote,
"My master came up to me and said, 'Another one of your videos leaked.' Doing something I thought, God, I can't believe Jessica is doing that. When he told me that, I couldn't stop crying. I cried for about 2 days, thinking, my God, what am I doing with my life? I didn't know the person who was handling my money. The person would tell me, leave it to me and I'll take care of it. You'll have no problems. I'm really good at working with this. It's because of my ex-marriage. She managed everything. She handled the money, then the money ran out. She didn't want to accept that we had no money left, that she was going to have to work for a living. When you're in the United States, you either work or you're screwed.
Armen Sarukian. Dude. Walking like a motherfucking. Never trust a motherfucker that is walking in public with hands in their pockets. Never. It is the craziest fucking thing to see this video. You know, I had a friend, still really good friends with him in high school. He used to fucking walk up to girls just like this. Except it would be some like Hugo Boss fucking sweater or Ralph Lauren, you know? Smelling like Burberry with like a Movado watch on. I'm joking. And he would poke fucking hyenas like in the stomach, get behind them like this, and put their fucking arms around their throat and shit, dude. Just yeah, dude, who told this guy, let's make some content? You ready? Like his manager or his buddy or whoever's in the fucking Apex with him. He's like, oh, there's Nina. You remember those people talking about my injured back? I'm gonna walk up to her, fucking get a joke, right? And he puts his hands in his pockets and looks at his homie, says, you ready? You recording? Dude, this is the most simp shit ever. I can't believe Armen did this. This is, Also, why is Nina Drama wearing f***ing pants that look like 2008, bro? Alexa Grasso is going to fight Natalya Silva, and that is going to also be May 10th, UFC 315. Alexa Grasso is still currently the #1 contender, and Natalya Silva is #5. Did a video on the flyweights. Maybe I should re-upload it since I have it deleted at this point. Calling all these hyenas out and what's going on with them. Gotta say, flyweight division has some pretty nice names in the top 10, save Jessica Andrade and Viviane Arujau. She should be at number 9, but for some reason, last time there was a ranking update, which was a Tuesday ago from now, she just ranked up a spot for no fucking reason at all. Alexa and Natalya is going to be a very interesting fight. There's going to be a lot of dynamics to it. I would expect a lot of range play. If Alexa tries to show off her newfound wrestling since losing to Valentina at Noche, I think she's going to lose because her wrestling has not improved, and it's not going to. It's not. Can she keep it on the feet, and can she outbox Natalya Silva? Yes, but can she out-kickbox Natalya Silva? I'm not so sure about that. Either way, that's one hell of a poster. Personally, I am still of the mind that Alexa Grasso got completely fucked over all the way back since 2022, since the first fucking Noche. She becomes champion and gets put on fucking ice for Valentina twice. And now it's 2025. No one's even thinking about this woman standing over the sphere holding the UFC belt that she didn't even fucking main event. Fucking joke, dude. It's a fucking, this is fucking bullshit. Alexa Grasso and Natalya Silva is a banger fight for so many reasons. Obviously, it's gonna be high excitement. Simps, get ready. The fucking X accounts are gonna have all the weigh-ins lit up for you from all the camera angles and all the fucking foot teases that Alexa Grasso gives us.
Pues ya, creo que es todo, ¿vale? Show feet, eso es muy raro. Why do you ask to show my feet? This is very weird, but yeah, I'm gonna do it because it's pretty weird. Okay, so here's my feet, like it's super weird.
User Yassine Warrior said Triple H failed all mid-card champions. I halfway agree. Chelsea Green and Lyra Valkyria have been completely fucking fumbled, and the value of those belts mean absolutely nothing.
Outstanding.
They're gonna take 6 to 8 months for them to rebuild it, of these chicks winning consistently and being used minimally, not in qualifiers and losing clean, being 0-1 as champions before they even defend the fucking title. It's absolutely ridiculous. Shinsuke Nakamura is kinda cool, man. I like his style, always have, but I definitely like the character that he's working right now, and they haven't f***ed up with Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker's doing some big shit. He's building up to something very, very big. Promise you that. Him and Kaiser's gonna be lit, and I hope that is at WrestleMania, but not a triple threat match. Speaking of ruining the champions, like I said, look at this shit with the WWE's doing to their Intercontinental Champion. Now, this had to have been, what, 3 weeks ago at this point? Bayley had the qualifier with Lyra Valkyria, and then she fucking hugs and shakes her hand and pats her on the fucking head, bro. Like, oh, it's okay, little one, you'll be as good as me one day, but she's the champ. Don't do this to your champ. Don't do this to your champion, Triple H. Then WWE has her on, this was this past week, just yesterday, trolling her, saying she's the best women's Intercontinental Champion of all time, dude. She won a tournament against Dakota Kai. Her very next match was against Bayley, non-title match, Elimination Chamber qualifier. She loses that clean. The next week, Dakota Kai has to fight Ivy Nile and wins to get another shot after wrestling in the goddamn tournament against Lyra Valkyria. This week, Lyra and Dakota go at it, and Lyra wins. So now Lyra's 1-1, but still the fucking champion. Perfect. And Ivy Nile comes out to crash the party. What are we doing, dude? Ivy Nile could have just beat Dakota and then had the match with Lyra the next fucking week, or just yesterday. From whoever the fuck this is, Club SOB, this was through Fightful. There is reportedly frustration among WWE women's roster over the booking of the division, with talents wanting to be on a more even plane. I'm saying, why are we so focused on Liv, Raquel, Naomi, and Bianca? Dude, Naomi, her music is so goddamn annoying. It is so annoying. Bianca is a super athlete. That is, I'm sorry, she's being underused, man. She's being underused. There is no women's tag team. They keep making these mashup tag teams, and they're gonna try to like, oh, the legacy of Liv and Raquel as a tag team. Who gives a shit? There's no other tag teams. There's Pure Fusion, you know? Like, drop the women's tag teams and let them compete. There's 3 titles, bro. US Intercontinental and, oh no, 4 titles. The WWE title, and then the whatever the title. What is that fucking belt called, dude? God. 4 titles, that's all we need. We don't need 6. That's the point. We don't have enough women. It's not deep enough, but it is plenty deep enough to let these women compete and get stories going on in singles competition. You are definitely booking the women wrong. Trish Stratus and Tiffany Stratton. Total stratification. T-Strat and Trish Strat. That's all I got right now. This is a waste of time too, it's not needed. I love Trish just as much as anybody else in the world, and everybody knows how I feel about Tiffany, but why are we doing this on a PLE? Would have been a fun little gimmick to have on SmackDown one night after Trish randomly interfered and had absolutely no business doing it, right? But to take up time at the Elimination Chamber just seems unnecessary because you're forcing more tag teams. And one of the tag team members was the hottest thing on the roster 20 years ago, market-wise. The other is the current champion in 2025. Why in the fuck are they a tag team? Stop doing women's tag teams. At least stop doing women's tag teams on PLEs. How about that? Because then you don't have to call Trish up for that. Maybe she could be Tiffany's manager or something, but she does not. Gotta be in action. Nia and Candice LeRae are completely unnecessary. Completely unnecessary. So you're trying to build this side angle with these unnecessary tag teams with the singles champ, a generational talent total package champion. At the same time trying to carry some fucking rivalry with Charlotte Flair of all people, dude.
Outstanding.
Yeah, I could see why they're frustrated. Rob Belair, president of the estate, I'm assuming a Bianca superfan, says that H dropped the ball, pushing these 3 on your screen as a stable. Dude, he dropped the ball in trying to even make the 3 of them together. This is corny as shit. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. Oh, 3 black women, put them all together and parade them around all over the country and all over the world. That doesn't work for me. That's cheesy. That's cheap. Naomi has been wasted for so many years. I have bitched about Naomi's fucking character and use half a decade now or longer, bro. I've been waiting for her to do something. Bianca to do something. I hope it's Bianca that attacked Jade and that she beats the out of Naomi and Jade and goes on her own little tear. You know what I mean? Like, they're not pushing these women the way that they're pushing Julia and Jordan Grace and Stephanie Vaquer and all the other women down there, Kalani and all at NXT. And I love all of them. I love all of them, dude, but they have been parading them like like they're 3 Hulk Hogans and it's 1983. You know what I'm saying? They are parading them so hard and I love them. But you are gonna get the backlash pretty quick here. You're gonna get the backlash because, I mean, dude, I remember everyone was dying waiting for Julia and Stephanie to get over there to NXT. It was about a year people were talking about that. I'm starting to see tweets now like, dude, why are they not giving any other opportunity to anybody else? Why can't the other women wrestle? I mean, it's like, dude, because they are super athletes. They are perfect almost at what they do. Especially, I mean, you know, they work with what they have to work with. And the women's division is stronger than ever. I'm not even dissing any of the other women. What I am saying is there's a reason they're at the top, but you should use them a little more sparingly. The champions, I mean. That way the women can build up underneath them so people are more interested in the opponents. This is something that goes on pretty well at NXT, but on the main roster, that's not happening. And one more thing on Julia, whoever took this picture of her on her birthday did a filter that did not work. You cannot do this. And this, real quick, anybody that sees this, that hops on your Facebooks or your Instagrams and you don't really know how to use photos very well, don't use that magic eraser shit on your face. You look...
Stardom fans, it's Julia here! If you're coming to Japan for Wrestle Kingdom Week, get yourself a ticket to see Stardom Dream Kingdom at Sumo Hall on December 29th. I'm gonna kick Megan Ben's big ass back to America!
Goldberg is undergoing stem cell therapy ahead of his final match. Who gives a fuck?
And fuck Bill Goldberg!
Karrion Kross was talking to UFC Hall of Famer Sera, and I haven't heard the whole thing, but I thought that was pretty awesome. So I'm gonna put a little bumper here of them talking, and I'll return in a minute.
Like they used to ask the guys like who in the bar fight, like they would say Haku, Rick Rude, guys of that nature. Like if you were at a bar and like you were and you know and shit went down, who's the guy you want right next to you?
Chad Gable.
Really?
Yeah, Chad Gable. So he's got an amateur background. He's 100% legit.
Okay.
He's won nationals and state and gold medal and stuff like that. He transitioned into pro wrestling.
Yeah.
I would say him because he's a lunatic.
Yeah.
He's the guy who will, you know, like Mark Kerr somebody. He'll stick his chin in the guy's eyeball and like he's definitely one of those people. He's very calm. He's very chill, as you'd expect from somebody who's like a master level grappler.
Yeah.
I would go with him.
This guy, Reuben Carter, has begun to get community noted, and he seems to just kind of like say whatever the fuck, and sometimes he's right and sometimes he's not. This post right here, he stated Islam rejected the first offer to fight Ilia, and Islam demanded that he must fight a contender before getting a shot. Now, typically I would tell Reuben Carter to fuck off because 75% of the time he is incorrect, or not even remotely close. But knowing how Habib and squad roll, I find this a little bit believable. Actually, more than a little bit. It seems like a very real possibility that Islam wants to see Ilia do something at lightweight before just defending the title. Not only does he pride himself on who his opponent is, and he does know Ilia is a big name, but Dana White and Hunter and UFC should already know that money is not going to work on these guys. They want the prestige of it. Now, the problem is that Ilia is not going to like. In fact, I think there was a post somewhere out there already where he is saying he doesn't want to fight anybody else straight to the title. And that goes back to what I said about the Sphere, dude. He wanted to do Noche and they wouldn't let him do Noche because he's an adopted Spaniard and that didn't make any fucking sense, but they still let a Georgian and American pretend like they were Mexican wearing sombreros and eating enchiladas and tacos and headline it and kept fucking Alexa Grasso posing outside the Sphere like she was some giant fucking tribute to Mexican culture and shit, and it wasn't.
I can't see him getting a title shot straight away. I think he's going to have to fight like a Poirier, Armen, a Charles, if he wants to get a title shot.
I was going to mention Ilia Topuria, who moved up to the weight. Is that a fight that you would love to have?
That's a fight I want. I want that fight. That's another one just to prove everyone wrong. You know what I mean? He's a midget, lad. He's not a lightweight. He shouldn't be fighting at lightweight. He should have stuck at featherweight. and it's gonna be the downfall of his career. No, I'd just fight him anyway. I don't care. It doesn't have to be a title fight. I just want to fight him. I want to prove a lot of people wrong by Mufti, you know. I think he thinks he's better than he is. He's just trying to be a carbon copy of McGregor. He's got as much fucking charisma as a tackle. It's mad, lad. Like, he's got the same tattoo as McGregor on his chest, same one on his back. Stop trying to be Conor, lad. No one's Conor. Just be yourself, you little shit.
And you think it's a big mistake in moving up?
Yeah, big mistake. But I think he knew that in a rematch with Volk, fighting Volk when he hadn't been knocked out 12 weeks earlier with a naughty head kick, I think he knew Volk would give him a very tough test. Saying he cemented his legacy at the weight, like, it's a load of bullshit. Beat Volk again, beat Lopez, beat Evloev, then you cleared the division out, yeah, then move up. Champions are too quick to want to move up now and not defend the belt and go up to the weight above. You should have to defend your belt at least 3 times if you want to move up.
I saved this a long time ago and I had to share it because otters are one of my favorite animals. This is fucking crazy, dude. Has anyone came across an otter or a group of otters that just mobbed you or someone you know? Read the article itself, it is true. This is a real article. This woman got torn to pieces. Look at her leg, dude. Look at all the discoloration from the blood. Lord. It makes me change my whole perspective on otters now. Crazy as shit. WWE ID champions have got belts now. And I just want to point out about this that WWE is trying to maximize their control over talent worldwide, just like the u.f.c. And just like Riyadh season in Turkey is doing, and this is all one giant ecosystem. And I am not against it. I'm here to watch this either succeed in a crazy way or fail epically, and I'll be here till the final days of it or to my final days. But I'm just saying that don't let the belts fool you. This is Ultimate Fighter, Dana White Contender Series, Cage Warriors, all that shit over and over again here. And Evolve is something else like that. They're looking for new talent, but they're going to make shows out of it to maximize profits. And it will work. It will work very well. People are always curious. And here's the official release for it. And this is supposed to start in March. We will be keeping up with it here at TKO Talk, just so everyone is aware. So check in here every now and then for updates on Evolve. Alexa Bliss and the Wyatts are a dead thing, and Machiavelli DTA is absolutely right. There was some intrigue here, and I still stay with it, and I hope someone hears it. I do think The Rock should use Bo Dallas to fuck over Cody Rhodes, John Cena, and CM Punk, not side with any of them. Corporate Bo abandoning the Wyatts is what makes sense. Think about it. And then Alexa can take over the Wyatts, and then we'll see how great it is, right? I don't think Alexa at all is the answer for the Wyatts. More importantly, Bo Dallas. Tying her to Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas and all this shit does not make any sense. Bray was only with her for like 2 years or something, dude. She's not that fucking important. But what would be important is having The Rock go heel and have Bo fuck over everyone, because in the WWE, Bo has more reason than anybody else to fuck over all big names that will be at WrestleMania. And who better to do it under than the final boss? Just some positivity here. Bruce Buffer, 29th anniversary being the voice of the Octagon. I think that's worth some praise, and he will never hear this, but thank you so much, Bruce, because that's one of the most unmistakable intros to a main event ever. And I love the shit he wears too, and I love his little antics and the dynamics with the fighters when he's announcing them and whatnot. Dana White is asked about a rematch with Merab and Sean O'Malley, and he tries to gaslight us, saying people want to see it. I don't know who wants to see it. If you do, please let me know why, because that shit was not entertaining at all. I haven't watched it since it happened, and I don't even remember half of the fucking fight. It was boring as shit. What could Sean possibly do different against Merab that is going to work this time? I just don't see it happening, and I'm not one of the people that want to see it, so if you do, let me know. And of course Sean wants to fight him, and of course Merab wants to fight him. Sean is delusional, and Merab wants an easy fight so he can keep holding on to the belt. This is a android that scared the shit out of me, and it reminds me of some like Resident Evil Attack on Titan type shit.
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.